And a very good afternoon and welcome to IKON Park for the VFL practice match number 1 for 2019. Today we're bringing you Port Melbourne and the Northern Blues. It is a very warm day outside, hovering around 35 degrees as we commence this match this afternoon. Very warm out there for the first run around for both of these clubs. Both of them have a lot of new recruits, and for Port Melbourne, obviously the biggest one heading out onto the field today. Number 21, Ben Jolly, the former Williamstown Premiership captain in 2015, crosses to arch rivals Port Melbourne for the 2019 season. All up, he's played 269 VFL games, including the club record 217 at Williamstown. He was, of course, drafted by Essendon back in 2005, joined Williamstown in 2008 after spending some time with the Bendigo Bombers, has been named in the VFL Team of the Year on 7 occasions and twice represented the Victorian state team. A player very well credentialed, joining the Port Melbourne Football Club in 2019. Another player with big credentials that joins the Borough for 2019 is number 13, Jared Blair, the former AFL player with Collingwood. He was a premiership player in his just 12th senior game of football. All up, played 157 AFL games over his 9 years with Collingwood. Delisted at the end of last year. Did come second in the Joseph Wren Memorial Trophy, Collingwood's VFL Best and Fairest last year, and has played 53 VFL games with Collingwood, kicking at 37 goals. And he was also the TAC Cup Morris medalist back in 2008. Another player with a lot of experience that will bring some leadership to this side in 2019. Joining them, both Ben Jolly and Jared Blair, Dion Johnston, number 22, will be his number for today's match. Selected with pick 64 in the 2016 AFL National Draft after playing with the Oakleigh Chargers in the TAC Cup. He was picked by Melbourne. Unfortunately, didn't get too many opportunities there, but did spend time building his defensive craft and skills, and we'll be looking to add them throughout the 2019 season to Port Melbourne. Another player that joins the club, number 33, Matt Gundry, a defender, listed by Sandringham in 2018, but spent most of the season with the Seaford Football Club in the MPNFL. Originally from Western Australia, playing with South Fremantle, is a good decision maker, good defensive discipline, and has very effective ball use. Expecting to see him out on the ground today as well. Another player that has had some VFL experience, at least being listed by the Box Hill Hawks in 2018, is number 39, Geordie Nagel. He is a medium-sized defender, won the Sandringham Dragons Best and Fairest in 2017, and has also represented the under-19 VAFA team as their vice-captain. Another player that will certainly bring some talent to the list this season. Almost set to go here at IKON Park. VFL practice match 1. Port Melbourne going up against the Northern Blues. The first VFL practice match of 2019. The first time that we'll get a look at both clubs, and it looks like it's Michael Wen starting in the ruck for Port Melbourne, and Tom De Koning will get us underway in the ruck for the Northern Blues. Umpire puts it into the turf. We're underway here at IKON Park. Blues will get the clearing kick towards half forward, bouncing ball, navigating their way through traffic. De Koning, high ball towards the top of the 50. Sitting underneath it, unable to take it there was Perry Lewis-Smith. Borough able to enforce themselves on the contest. Spiralling ball towards the wing. Ben Silvani flew, brought the ball to ground. Borough with numbers around the footy. Good tackle though applied by Sam Fisher to cause a stoppage. And we'll get a ball up centre wing, broadcast side here at IKON Park. De Koning won the tap down. Borough trying to release Wen, flick the handball on the outside. Kick from Hobbs was cut off and dribbles over the boundary line and out of play. We'll throw it in just in front of the interchange bench here at IKON Park. No score either side, approaching the opening minute of this opening term. De Koning just got a fingertip to it. Ball floated out the back of the pack. Penrith releases the Northern Blues. A big looping handball over the top to the skipper. Tom Wilson goes into the pocket. Unable to take the mark cleanly there was Noah Wheeler. Keeps the ball in play. Ball very close to the boundary line. And the umpire says, give it to me, I will ball it up. A ball up. The top of the 50-metre arc. Broadcast side. Northern Blues kicking towards the Royal Parade end in this opening term. De Koning again won the tap down. Wilson, high ball inside, attacking 50. Is there a bit of a shove in the back? No, the umpire says a mark will be paid the way of the Northern Blues, and it is Levi Casbolt on a slight angle to take the first scoring shot of 2019. Does the little step around and slots it through for the first here in IKON Park. Northern Blues 1 straight 6. Port Melbourne yet to score. 2 minutes gone in this opening term of the VFL practice match. Levi Casbolt was listed with Carlton, not selected in their side to take on Essendon in the JLT Community Series a little later on today. This match, of course, a curtain raiser to Carlton and Essendon a little later this evening. Ball returns to the middle. Northern Blues started the game looking to attack. Get a ball up in the middle. Koning and Wen to go at it again. Koning won the tap down. Burrow at the fall of the ball. Hobbs, high ball towards half forward. Pack flies, no one able to bring it in. Port Melbourne almost enter 50. They managed to work it clear here. Pete flicks the handball across and a goal. The quick reply for Port Melbourne is scored. And it looks like Blake Pearson has kicked the first major here at IKON Park for Port Melbourne. Blake Pearson getting on the board there. 1 straight 6 apiece. Both Port Melbourne and the Northern Blues. 3.5 minutes into this opening term here at IKON Park. Wind a little blustery this afternoon. As the ball is returned to the middle. Again, it will be De Koning and Michael Wen to go up in this contest. The umpire thumps it into the turf. De Koning again wins the tap. Quick fire handball releases the Burrow. They go inside, attacking 50, bouncing ball. And the Blues just able to work it cleanly away. Stocker, recruit for Carlton. They flick it wide to Noah Wheeler. He goes long inside 50, searching for Casbolt, just over his head. Pressuring it towards the line there. Ethan Phillips for the Burrow to record a rushed score for the Northern Blues. 1-1-7, plays 1 straight 6. As Wen takes the mark, half-back flank, outer side for the Burrow. Spot up a target in the middle. Taking it there was O'Sullivan. Goes long towards half forward. Johnston. It's made it a little difficult for him. Ball to the deck. The umpire's picked out a free kick and it will go the way of Port Melbourne. Half forward flank on the outer side. It is Dion Johnston out there, one of the new recruits for the Burrow in 2019. His kick cut off. Northern Blues able to repel out a defensive 50. Belisari's on the centre wing, city side of the ground. Comes inboard with the kick to Noah Wheeler. Former Bendigo Pioneer, playing now with the Northern Blues. Goes towards half forward. The handball comes the way of Sonny Brazier. Just work it by hand. Inside 50. A shot on goal is well wide and out on the full. Port Melbourne to take a free kick. It will be Cal Searle to take it. Back pocket, city side. Royal Parade end of IKON Park. 1-1-7 the Northern Blues, leading Port Melbourne by a point. Approaching the 6-minute mark in this opening term. As the ball goes to Sam Pete. The umpires just having a conversation, and a free kick in the end awarded the way of the Northern Blues. High ball inside 50, setting himself there was Searle. The umpire says there's a high infringement. Will go the way of the Port Melbourne, and they'll take the advantage. They bring it to the broadcast side. Handball over the top to Sam Michael. They'll go further afield to Dixon. He puts it towards the attacking side of the broadcast wing. Just a little difficult there on that occasion for Campbell Walker. Ball over the boundary line and out of play. We'll throw it in between centre wing and half forward. Broadcast side of IKON Park, 117. The Northern Blues leading Port Melbourne, 1 straight 6. Approaching 7 minutes in this opening term. Again, the Northern Blues will look to clear. Kennedy. High ball, bouncing ball. Does it stay in play? It does. And it goes the way of the Borough. Very fortunate on that occasion. Looking for Hobbs. Made a meal of it. Ball to ground. Pops out to Matt King, who's taken into the turf. The umpire says, give it to me, I will ball it up. Half forward flank, broadcast side for the Northern Blues. It's first practice match of the 2019 VFL season. Umpires picked out some holding, and it will go the way of the Borough. To take it will be Perry Lewis-Smith. Half-back flank, broadcast side. Goes towards centre half back, pays off, taking the mark was O'Sullivan, got the handball away quickly, and now they've worked it to Treverton. He moves it forward to Dixon, gives the handball off to Anastasio, who goes inside attacking 50. And the mark is taken by Sam Michael on a 45-degree angle, about 30 metres out from goal. Much better passage of play there from the Borough. Clean link up down the broadcast side and ending up in the hands of Sam Michael. Comes in, looking for their second. Kick on its way, sails straight over the top of the goal umpire's hat. 2 straight 12 Port Melbourne hit the front for the first time today. The 8.5 minute mark of this opening term. Northern Blues 117. The breeze just picks up ever so slightly towards the Lygon Street end. There's not much of a favour there. It's very blustery and very hot here at IKON Park. Just ensuring that players are in position before he thumps the ball into the turf and gets us underway once more. Casbold in the ruck this time around for the Northern Blues. Port Melbourne emerge with it. Anastasio goes backwards to go forwards for Port Melbourne. Off hands. Handball was searching for Wilson. It was cut off. Anastasio goes for home, but unfortunately it dribbles over the boundary line and out of play. We'll throw it in, forward pocket, city side of IKON Park for the Borough, who lead by 5 points, 2 straight 12 to 117. 9.5 minutes into this opening term. Casbolt just pads it back towards the boundary line, and we'll get another boundary throw in. City side of IKON Park. Umpire tosses the ball back into play. Casbolt lost his footing. Treverton with an opportunity. Centering ball, no good. Wilson not far enough, says the umpire. Play on. Northern Blues able to get out of trouble. High ball towards the centre wing on the outer side. In front spot there was Kalutzi. And they've got a bit of movement now, the Northern Blues, on the centre wing city side of IKON Park. High ball inside attacking 50, and De Koning will take it directly in front. In fact, that's Finn Brown that's taken it for the Northern Blues. Directly in front, 30 metres out. Kicking to the Royal Parade end. Very quick ball movement when they find some space, the Northern Blues. The early trend from the 11 minutes of this opening term. And Finn Brown makes no mistake with that kick. The Northern Blues back in front by a point. 2-1-13, plays 2 straight 12. Here at IKON Park. Practice match number 1 for 2019. Very warm day. 35 degrees was the temperature just before this match commenced. Few fears that we'd reach the 36-degree mark and potentially a little hotter than that, which would have brought in heat policies. As the umpire settles himself, puts the ball back into the air. Burra will win it. Hobbs puts it to the top of the 50. Port Melbourne players collided. They missed out on an opportunity that occasion, but they'll get a ball up at centre half forward. 12 minutes into this opening term. Again, the Burra move it forward. Can't get a clean mark. And the Blues will bring it to the broadcast side. Penrith, good spoiling attempt there made by Perry Lewis-Smith. Opens an opportunity, handball to himself. Then eventually got it to Geordie Nagel, one of the new recruits here for Port Melbourne in 2019. Ethan Penrith, though, coming through for the Blues. Dishes the handball off to Kennedy. Runs into the middle, centres the ball, had a couple of options. They'll move it further afield now. Wilson takes the mark. On the outer side, will come backwards. Mark taken by Patrick Kerr. Just chipping the ball around now. Hugh Goddard takes the mark in the middle. Pops the handball over the top. A long kick inside 50 to the top of the goal square off hands and will be rushed through for a minor score. Northern Blues 2-2-14. Leading Port Melbourne 2 straight 12. 13 gone opening term here in this VFL practice match. Taking the mark there is Ben Jolly. Plenty of eyes on him over the early part of the season. That kick turned over though. Blues go back inside 50. Velasari's got the handball to Fisher. Dinky kick into the pocket. Might work out for Wheeler. It does. Noah Wheeler gets his first. The Northern Blues get their third. They move to 3-2-20. Port Melbourne 2 straight 12. 14 minutes into this opening term. And we're only a quarter of the way into the opening term and already the crowd getting restless. Sign of things to come in 2019. So the umpire, again, just ensuring the players are in position. Looks like they are observing the 6-6-6 rule. That, of course, will be seen in the AFL in 2019. Ball pops out, Hobbs. Bumped off the footy, opportunity now for Stocker. The Carlton recruit, Morris medalist in the TAC Cup in 2018, flicked it wide, ball over the boundary line and out of play. Will be thrown in, half forward, city side of IKON Park. The Royal Parade end, which the Northern Blues are kicking to in this opening term. Hitting the 15-minute mark will be De Koning going up against Treverton. Again, Northern Blues players around the ball. Brazier goes for Holmes, and it's just offline. Another minor score. 3-3-21, the Northern Blues leading Port Melbourne 2 straight 12. The short kick back into play for the Borough is good. O'Brien has the ball, back pocket, city side of IKON Park. Will look to go down along the boundary line to a contest. Coming late, there was Walker. Ball came off his hands over the boundary line and out of play. We'll throw it in. city backdrop here at IKON Park. Ball to be tossed in. Treverton going up against De Koning. De Koning steals it out of the ruck. Wobbly one inside, attacking 50. Ball again off hands. Searle flicked it backwards, but turned it over. Northern Blues held up. The umpire says, give it to me, I will ball it up. So it looks like it was Stocker getting off the bottom of the pack. Ball put into the air. Treverton won the tap down. A few players call for deliberate. And they're going to get it. So the Northern Blues with the ball in their hands. 16.5 minutes into the opening term. A centering ball is good. Taking the mark, Noah Wheeler. Skippered the Bendigo Pioneers in the TAC Cup the 2018 season, and is lining up for his second. He's impressed early. Noah Wheeler comes in, slight angle, kicks it from about 40 metres out, and he's got two. Northern Blues moved to 4-3-27. Port Melbourne 2 straight 12. Just gone, we're approaching 18 minutes in this opening term here at IKON Park. I believe that the quarter length will be 20 minutes, flat 20-minute quarters today due to the heat. And again, the umpire ensuring that we have all players in the right positions. Nice handy lead heading towards quarter time here for the Northern Blues. The tap was won down by De Koning, but Port Melbourne will win the clearance. Long ball inside 50, came out the back. Dion Johnston had an opportunity, but was unable to capitalise on it. Ball at half back now for the Northern Blues. They're held up. The umpire says, give it to me, I will ball it up. Right on the 50-metre arc. Half forward flank, city side of IKON Park. Wen won the tap down. But again, it will be the Northern Blues to win the clearance. They go towards Brown, centre wing city side. He flicks the handball back to Fisher. Just muck around with it, now under pressure. Jared Blair imposing himself on the contest. Was unable to get reward for it though. Ball down the boundary line and seeing it over there, Charlie Beasley will get a boundary throw in. Defensive side of the outer wing for Port Melbourne, who trail 2 straight 12 to 4-3-27. Umpire tosses it back into play. Neutral tap, Burrow emerge with it. Arnott was ineffective in his disposal, and the Northern Blues through Sonny Brazier go towards half forward. Mark taken by O'Dwyer, goes inside, attacking 50. And again, the Northern Blues hit up a target. Very tight angle. Once again, it's in the hands of Finn Brown. Already has a goal on the board today at IKON Park as we hit the 20-minute mark and quarter time. The umpire just coming in to adjust the mark, with Finn Brown looking to kick it around his body. Tight angle. Comes in. Not a bad attempt. Not a bad attempt at all. He's kicked it for his second. And it means that at quarter time, the Northern Blues lead by 21 points. 5-3-33 to Port Melbourne, 2 straight 12. Goal kickers so far today for Port Melbourne, 1 apiece to Blake Pearson and Sam Michael. And for the Northern Blues, 2 goals to Noah Wheeler and Finn Brown, and their other goal kicker is Levi Casbolt. quarter time here at IKON Park, VFL practice match 1, and it's the Northern Blues by 21 points. Welcome back for the second term here at IKON Park of this VFL practice match. Port Melbourne have already broken up from their quarter time huddle and receiving their instructions from Gary Ayres as he enters his 12th season in charge of the borough. We all know that includes 2 premierships back in 2011 and 2017. Man who has guided the borough through a little bit of change over the last 18 months. Brought in some great, talented and experienced players to be a part of the 2019 lineup. As we get set for the second term, 5-3-33, the Northern Blues leading Port Melbourne 2 straight 12. A term where the Northern Blues, when they found space, able to use their speed and hit up targets inside attacking 50. Port Melbourne winning a few clearances, but just unable to capitalise on their opportunities. As we get set now for the second term here at IKON Park, this first VFL practice match of 2019. And it will be the Northern Blues again to clear it. De Koning, flick the handball out. Ball inside, attacking 50. Casbolt on the lead, takes the mark, 45-degree angle, 40 metres out. Quick speed again, coming out of the middle. De Koning linking up with Wilson, who popped it inside 50 and hit up Levi Casbolt. Carlton listed player. Comes in. That kick fading to the right and hits the post. Minor score to get us underway for this second term. 5-4-34, the Northern Blues leading Port Melbourne 2 straight 12. Early stages in this second term. Borough come towards the broadcast side. Out the back, Hugh Goddard flew, couldn't bring it in. Opportunity now for the Northern Blues. No. Boundary umpire said it went out of play. And we will throw it in. Half forward flank. The Northern Blues kicking to the Lygon Street end of IKON Park in this second term. The umpire throws it in. When worked his way to the front, dishes the handball out. Go down the line. Borough kick there from Ash Cracker. Came off hands over the boundary line and out of play. We'll throw the ball back in. Rucks go at it, won the tap down, went back in after it. He's being harassed. De Koning slings him into the turf. The umpire says, "We're going nowhere," and I will ball it up. Centre wing, broadcast side of IKON Park. We've hit 36 degrees during the quarter time break. The handball dished out, another opportunity now for Sam Fisher. Puts it over the top to Noah Wheeler. Half forward for the Northern Blues. Inside 50, bouncing ball. Under pressure is Searle. Wins the race. Lost his footing. Had support. They work it by hand here, the Borough. Inside defensive 50. Go down along the boundary line, searching out there for Campbell Walker. Ball goes over the boundary line and out of play. Throw it in. Half-back flank. City side of IKON Park for Port Melbourne. They're 2 straight 12. The Northern Blues 5-4-34. 3 minutes into this second term. This first VFL practice match, the first of 4 for both of these sides. The ball fell well short. We'll get another restart. Boundary umpire to get us back underway. Port Melbourne's next practice match comes on the 9th of March up in Ballarat at City Oval. We'll be taking on Williamstown. 2 further games prior to their round 1 match against Williamstown at Point Gellibrand on a Saturday night under lights. When releases the handball to Jolly. Will be one with lots of eyeballs on him come that opening round game. Ben Jolly left the Seagulls at the end of 2018. Getting the club record 217 games with them. Now joins the Borough to add just that little bit of experience. He's involved here again, Ben Jolly. Applied the tackle. The umpire says, give it to me, I will pull it up. Ball trapped on the centre wing. City side of IKON Park. When won the tap down again, and the umpire says, I'll come in again for another stoppage. The third practice match for Port Melbourne will be on the 15th of March against Sandringham down at Trevor Barker Beach Oval. Their final game will be against North Melbourne at Arden Street on the 23rd of March. So we get another stoppage. Defensive side of the outer wing for Port Melbourne, who now work it clear. Get it up to Blake Pearson. Goes towards centre half forward with the kick. It's a good one. The handball given off immediately to Cracker inside 50. Bouncing ball. Lyle chasing after it. Ball dribbles over the boundary line and out of play. Jordan Lyle will be skipper again in 2019, but with a difference. For the first time under Gary Ayres' reign at Port Melbourne, co-captains Jordan Lyle and Tom O'Sullivan will be skippering the side in 2019. O'Sullivan stepping up from vice-captain in 2018 as the umpire says, come in and give it to me, I will ball it up. Stop-start to this second term. In fact, there's been a free kick awarded the way of the Borough. 45-degree angle, kicking towards the Royal Parade end. Kick on its way, will fall short. Is the mark paid? It will be. I think it's Guy Dixon that's taken it right in the goal square. He has. So searching for their first major of this second term, the Borough. It's messy to get there. And he makes no mistake from point blank range. Guy Dixon kicks his first. The Borough have their third. 3 straight 18 trailing the Northern Blues 5-4-34. Approaching the 7-minute mark this second term here at IKON Park. Just a wait for the ball to be returned to the middle. A reminder that the Port Melbourne season launch and jumper presentation night will be held on Monday the 1st of April at the Sandridge Events Centre. Kicking off at 7:30, head to portmelbournefc.com.au for all the details and to reserve your seat to kick off the 2019 season. Ball back in the middle. Casbolt won the tap down. Northern Blues will win the clearance. High ball towards centre half forward. Pack collides. Ball off hands. Northern Blues still with possession through Brown. He's taken into the turf. The umpire says, nothing doing and give it to me. We'll ball it up. 40 metres out from goal for the Northern Blues. Winning the tap there was Treverton. But again, the Blues get the opportunity. High ball. Good ball from Sam Fisher. 6-4-40, the Northern Blues move to. Port Melbourne 3 straight 18. So just ticked over the 8-minute mark in this second term, playing straight 20-minute quarters due to the heat. No time on today. And extended breaks too being observed in this practice match here at IKON Park. The umpire checking to ensure we've got the 6 players in position. settles himself and goes bang. Casbolt won the tap down. Fisher hunting it, collects it. Dished the handball off, was ineffective to Kalutsi. The umpire says a throw. And a free kick will go the way of Port Melbourne at half back. Harvey Chin to take it, goes short to Jared Blair. The premiership pie comes wide with the kick. O'Brien dropped it but had time to gather. His kick towards half forward, not great. Kennedy stuck a hand out to cut it off. He's had an umpire go down in the middle by the looks of things. Port Melbourne inside 50. Under pressure is Harvey Chin. A couple of players dive on him. And umpire number 2 just a bit of discomfort by the looks of things out there. As we get back underway, trying to extract it there is Dion Johnston. The umpire says we'll toss it up again. Fisher. High ball. Northern Blues again with speed through the middle. No one home though inside 50. Gundry, a sitting duck, was able to get the handball away in time. Port Melbourne kick it up. Mark taken by Max Kennedy, a Port Melbourne Academy player in 2019, not on the senior list but playing today. His kick intercepted by Ben Kalutsi at centre half back for the Northern Blues, who lead 6-4-40. Port Melbourne 3 straight 18. And the Northern Blues are attacking again. Under a bit of pressure is McCabe. Coughed it up. Port Melbourne, they've coughed it up as well. Blues go back inside, attacking 50. Velasari's up against the boundary line. Centering ball, not great. Mark taken by Bettison. It's been touched off the boot, so the umpire calls play on. Johnson now, inside defensive 50. Composed kick to Nagel, flicks it wide. Possessing the footy now, Searle. Goes up. Searching there for O'Sullivan. Ball off hands. Northern Blues now with another opportunity to repel. Long ball back inside, attacking 50. Keppel collects it. Swings around. High ball, top of the goal square for the Northern Blues. It's smacked through for a minor score by Matthew Gundry. The Northern Blues move to 6-5-41. Port Melbourne 3 straight 18 at 11 and a half minutes gone in this second term. As Blair takes the mark, moves it quickly. Port Melbourne with a bit of movement down the broadcast side. Perry Lewis-Smith takes the mark, and the umpire says he'll get a 50-metre penalty as well. And another 50-metre penalty, so 100 metres going the way of Perry Lewis-Smith will bring him to half forward. Man on the mark is about 45 metres out. Slide angle for Perry Lewis-Smith. A bit of lip obviously coming on the centre wing to get the extra 50 metres. Comes in, kick fading left, that's where it stays. Their first minor score of the 2019 season, kicked by Perry Lewis-Smith. The Borough 3-1-19, trailing the Northern Blues 6-5-41, approaching 13 minutes in this second term here at IKON Park. Northern Blues kick is effective. De Koning takes the mark, defensive side of the outer wing. His kick, not the greatest. A high tackle, a free kick will go the way of the Borough. Beasley retreats a long way to Bettison, who will bring it towards the broadcast side. Ethan Phillips takes the mark. He'll go short. Borough just possessing the footy. Michael goes to Arnott at centre half back. Spots up a targeting congestion. It was Pearson. Puts it in the Lyle direction. Half forward flank, outer side for the Borough. Does a bit of a dance to try and get around traffic. Pearson had a brief opportunity. Northern Blues, though, able to get the turnover. Their kick will be intercepted and will come straight back from where it came from. Jordan Lyle takes the mark. Just outside, attacking 50, the co-captain of the Borough in 2019. Looks for options. Unfortunately, the one he chose wasn't really there. Wilson doing his best to impose his body on the contest. Blake Pearson unable to get the ball over the boundary line and out of play. Half forward flank, city side of IKON Park, 6-5-41. The Northern Blues leading Port Melbourne 3-1-19. The umpire tosses it back into play to Koning. Flicks the handball backwards. Stavro under a heap of pressure, release the kick. Borough, though, with numbers around the footy, will look to come inside, attacking 50. Long ball in the Lyle direction, takes the mark inside the goal square. Jordan Lyle, leading goal kicker for Port Melbourne in 2018, slots his first of 2019. He kicked 38 goals in his 19 matches last season for the Borough. And he has his first on the board here today at IKON Park. Port Melbourne moved to 4-1-25, trailing the Northern Blues 6-5-41. Port Melbourne leading the term so far, having kicked 2 goals, 1. Northern Blues, 1 goal, 2. 3 scoring shots apiece in this second term. So we are about 4 minutes away from half time. The umpire puts it into the air. De Koning leaped over the top, brought the ball to ground. Fisher lays on a great tackle for the Northern Blues and will cause a stoppage. Hobbs getting off the bottom of the pack for the Borough. Still inside the centre square. Ball bobbling around. Cracker got collected. Umpire said it was fair play on. Northern Blues release a high kick towards half forward. Bouncing ball, Wheeler under pressure. Mopping up now, Arnott. Weaved his way through traffic. Will receive the 1-2 and the Shepherd. Has free space now at centre half back. High ball towards half forward. Perry Lewis-Smith. Just unable to get it cleanly. Diving over the top now, Blake Pearson, and we'll get another ball up between centre wing and half forward. Outer side of IKON Park. Ruckman nominate. Treverton went up against De Koning. Ball to ground. Northern Blues win the clearing kick. Matt King received the handball and then got tackled into the turf. The umpire will ball it up once again. De Koning wins the tap down. Kennedy inside 50 for the Northern Blues. Max Dreyer takes the mark. Wants to centre the footy for Wheeler. Got knocked out of his hands. And the umpire says there was an infringement after the contest, and Port Melbourne end up with the free kick. Tom Hobbs, half-back flank, city side of IKON Park. Goes towards centre wing. Umpire says a high, and free kick will go the way of Sam Pete, who is also a Port Melbourne Academy player in 2019. Playing in this afternoon's practice match. They've switched it to the broadcast side where Lockie Waddle takes the mark. Goes towards the centre wing, but's turned it over. Finbar O'Dwyer takes the mark. Popped the handball in the Stocker direction, went back to O'Dwyer, who went further afield to Kalutzi. Long ball inside, attacking 50 for the Northern Blues. Belisari's got a hand to it, but couldn't bring it in. Opportunity now for Beasley. Got the handball over the top. Borough with a bit of movement. Chin now off half back. Toe poke kick wide is effective. Anastasio gets the ball. Over the top now to Blair. Just outside attacking 50. They've hit up Cracker, who goes with a centering pass to Sam Pete directly in front, about 35 metres out from goal. Great link-up passage of play there from the Borough. It's a little bit messy once they got it to half forward, but were able to work it into the hands of Sam Pete, who will line up for goal at the Royal Parade end. Under a minute left on the clock in this first half of VFL practice match football. Pete comes in and has snuck it through to reduce the margin back to 10 points here at IKON Park. The Borough 5-1-31, trailing the Northern Blues 6-5-41. About 30 seconds left on the clock in this second term here at IKON Park. Badly needed goal there for Port Melbourne, just to give them a little confidence heading into the sheds at half-time. They've been able to reduce the margin to 10 points, as that's the siren for half-time here at IKON Park. The Northern Blues leading 6-5-41. Port Melbourne 5-1-31. Our goal kickers so far in today's match: Jordan Lyle kicked one, Guy Dixon, Blake Pearson, Sam Michael and Sam Pete with that last goal on the siren. For the Northern Blues, Noah Wheeler kicked two in the opening term, as did Finn Brown, while Sam Fisher and Levi Casbolt are also the major goal kickers for the Northern Blues. At half-time, it is the Blues by 10 points, 6-5-41, the Borough 5-1-31. Set to go for the third quarter here at IKON Park. 6-5-41, the Northern Blues leading Port Melbourne 5-1-31. Over 36 degrees currently here at IKON Park as we're back underway. O'Dwyer in a bit of strife, was able to get the handball out. Wilson receives an up and under kick. Didn't really go anywhere, but the umpire said it went the distance. Quick handball on the inside. Fisher now gets collected. He got one away quickly as well. Ball inside attacking 50 for the Northern Blues, and should be all wrapped up, and is. The umpire says, give it to me, I will sort it out. Northern Blues kicking to the Royal Parade end in this third quarter. Casbolt grabbed it out of the ruck and slots it through for his second, and the first of the second half here at IKON Park. 7-5-47, the Northern Blues leading Port Melbourne 5-1-31, just over a minute into the third term of this VFL practice match, number one for 2019. Again, quick ball movement from the Northern Blues. Got it to the stoppage inside 50. Casbolt grabbing it out of the ruck, just slotting it through for his second. The Carlton listed player, not selected in the Carlton side, to take on Essendon in the JLT Community Series match, which follows this a little later on this evening. Back underway. Wen won the tap down. De Koning, though, mopped up for the Northern Blues, and they send it forward once more. This time the mark is intercepted by Hugh Johnson. Worked his way around traffic. Looping handball wide to Cracker. Pinpoint perfect with the kick to Wen. Dish the handball off quickly. Port Melbourne inside 50. Lyle in a paddock takes the mark. Directly in front, 30 metres out from goal. Co-captain in 2019. Alongside Tom O'Sullivan. First time there will be co-captains under the reign of Gary Ayres, who enters his 12th season as senior coach of the Borough, and looking to add to the two premierships. But he's already knocked up, and that time Lyle sprayed it wide. Out on the full, free kick to go the way of the Northern Blues. And to take it will be Ben Silvani. Coming out of the Oakley Chargers program last season in the TAC Cup. Hits up Sam Fisher. Back pocket city side of IKON Park. Call to play on. Fisher goes down the line. Northern Blues, the kick inboard wasn't fantastic. Sam Michael under a bit of pressure. Support arrives for the Borough. Quick hands through the middle. 55 metres out from goal. A long kick is good. And just trying to pick up
Hobbs.
Who that was. Hobbs. Tom Hobbs there for Port Murrah, unloading from just outside the 50-metre arc to get Port Melbourne's first of this second half. They move to 6-1-37, still trailing the Northern Blues 7-5-47. Approaching 4 minutes into this third term. The umpire settles himself and gets things back underway in the middle of IKON Park. He'll have to recall that one for a dodgy bounce. So it'll be Michael Wen to go up against Tom De Koning. De Koning won the tap down. Northern Blues look to clear through Sonny Brazier. High ball is cut off, not paid there to Charlie Beasley. Didn't have enough on it, according to the umpire, who was right on the spot. We'll ball it up. Just outside attacking 50, city side of IKON Park for the Northern Blues, Royal Parade end. Handball given off quickly to O'Brien for the Borough. And umpire says there was an infringement, so Max Kennedy will get a free kick. Centre wing, city side of IKON Park. Borough trail by 10 points after 5 minutes in this third term. Long ball, good grab taken there by Sam Pete. The Port Melbourne Academy players linking up. And a centering ball has hit up Perry Lewis-Smith on a 45-degree angle, about 40 metres out from goal for the Borough. Chasing back-to-back goals in this third term and draw the margin back to 4 points. Perry Lewis-Smith comes in. It's well wide and just a minor score. 6-38. The Borough trailing the Northern Blues 7-5-47. The kick back into play was ordinary for the Blues. They're able to mop up. Handball their way out of defensive 50. Stocker under pressure. Port Melbourne with an opportunity. O'Brien late on the tackle. It wasn't effective. Kick wasn't effective either from the Borough. And the mark is taken inside defensive 50 by the Northern Blues. Patrick Kerr chips it short. Mark taken on that outer side. Down along the line, Casbolt got his hand over the shoulder of Treverton, who will take the free kick just outside attacking 50, city side of IKON Park for Port Melbourne. They were looking for Blair inboard, came off hands, 3 Blues players fighting for it. Blair laid on a great tackle. The umpire says, give it to me. I will ball it up. Just outside attacking 50. 6-38 Port Melbourne. Trailing the Northern Blues 7-5-47. 7 gone in this third term. High ball from Fisher towards the centre wing is gobbled up by Kane Keppel. Centering ball is okay for the Northern Blues. Still city side of IKON Park. Matt Kennedy kicks the ball long. Casbolt takes the mark. And 80 metres out from home. Pops it to the top of the 50. Mark is taken by Kalutsi. Wheels around on the right boot, high ball. De Koning at full stretch takes the mark, directly in front. 25 metres out from goal. Spent most of the day in the ruck, Tom De Koning. It's been impressive for the Northern Blues, lining up for his first. Comes in and puts it through. Tom De Koning with his first. And the Northern Blues move to 8-5-53. Leading Port Melbourne 6-2-38. Almost 9 minutes gone in this third term here at IKON Park. Haven't been able to get their noses in front, Port Melbourne, for a little while. 2 scoring opportunities apiece in this third term. The Blues have scored 2 majors. 1-1 for Port Melbourne. The ball is bounced back in the middle and will be recalled. Treverton in the ruck now for Port Melbourne. Supporting him in the middle, we've got Hobbs, Perry Lewis-Smith and Cracker, who receives the footy. Straight up the corridor for Port Melbourne. Waiting out the back was Pete, couldn't get a hand to it. And the Northern Blues are able to relinquish the pressure. O'Brien just running out of space. And the umpire says throw it in between centre wing and half forward, city side of IKON Park for the Borough. De Koning and Treverton will go up in the ruck. Shallow throw in. De Koning won the tap down straight into the arms of Lewis-Smith. Cracker dished the handball off. Lewis-Smith ended up with the ball in his hands. His kick ineffective. Northern Blues have it on the half-back flank. Penrith flicks it wide, looking for Casbolt. One bounce, collected it cleanly. Beat 2 did Casbolt. Wheels around on the right boot, goes to the top of the 50, and the mark is taken by McCabe. City side of IKON Park, he goes long. High ball to a pack. No one able to bring it in. Northern Blues end up with the footy. Spiralling one from Strawn goes close to the boundary line. Is it marked? Was it juggled over? The umpire says throw it in. Kalutzi was unable to control it. It's about 20 metres around from goal for the Northern Blues. As Treverton beat out Casbolt in the ruck. Followed up his own work. Perry Smith involved as well, but got collected by Blakey. Ball dribbles over the boundary line and out of play. We'll throw it in. Just outside attacking 50. The Northern Blues kicking to the Royal Parade end in this third term. De Koning won the tap down. Handball released. Picking it up now. Anastasio goes long in the Lyle direction. Punched out of his hands, dribbles over the boundary line and out of play. Port Melbourne now at half forward, city side of IKON Park. As we head towards 12 minutes in this third term, which means we've got 8 minutes left on the clock, playing flat 20-minute quarters, no time on due to the heat here at IKON Park. It's tossed back in. Treverton with a hand to it once more. Lewis Perry had a fresh edge shot at it. Opportunity now for Chin to go inside 50. Taking the slips catch in defensive 50 though is Patrick Kerr. Chips it short. Sonny Brazier takes the mark, still inside defensive 50. Flicks the ball wide. Northern Blues with a bit of movement. Hugh Goddard off half back. High ball. Unable to bring it in there was Bettison. Followed up. Lays on a good tackle, did Bettison. Opportunity though for O'Dwyer. Got the handball across to Penrith. Gives it off to McCabe. He got unstuck in the forward pocket. Burrow able to rebound. Charlie Beasley kicks the ball in the Treverton direction. Hugh Goddard coming late to impact the contest. Favours the Burrow. Kick it up towards centre wing, broadcast side. Dancing his way through traffic there with Sam Michael. Gives it inboard to Cracker. Cracker goes to the outer side. Mark taken here by Blake Pearson. Long ball inside, attacking 50. Came off hands. Lewis Perry trying to mop up. He's taken into the turf. Burrow still with the footy in their hands. Quick kick away there from Pearson. Is a goal. His second. And the Burrow move to 7-2-44. Trailing by 9 points. Northern Blues 8-5-53. 14 minutes in to this third term here at IKON Park. Passage of play to get Port Melbourne fans excited for the 2019 season, working the ball forward, eventually getting into the hands of Blake Pearson, who was able to slot it at the Lygon Street end. Again, the umpire awaiting players to get into position. The 6x6x6 rule in effect today here in this practice match at IKON Park. Casbolt won the tap down for the Northern Blues. There'll be a stalemate though in the middle and we'll get a ball up. Getting off the bottom of the pack there, Matt Kennedy for the Northern Blues. Tossed in, Casbolt had a couple of goes at trying to get rid of it. Burrow though will win the clearance. Arnott takes a bounce. Long ball inside 50. Front spot. Great mark taken there by Stavrail for the Northern Blues. Flicks it to Goddard in the back pocket, broadcast side. Kicks it down along the boundary line. Casbolt has a couple to beat. Coming late there, Johnson. On hands and knees, trying to get rid of it. And it's a bit of a scuffle. Max Strayer at the bottom of the pack there for the Northern Blues. Umpire gets it underway very quickly. Casbolt, little tap down. Northern Blues just can't get a clean possession away. To that extent, neither can Port Melbourne. An infringement. Free kick to go the way of the Burrow. In the hands of Tom Hobbs, centre wing, broadcast side. Long ball inside 50. Floated out the back of the pack. Blakey mopping up for the Northern Blues. Kicks it wide, searching for Penrith on the outer side. Allows it to bounce. Tries to tap it to his advantage and use his speed. Can't gather it cleanly though. He's under a heap of pressure now being held. And the umpire awards the free kick to Penrith. Comes inboard. Fisher had a bit of work to do to bring that one in, but was able to do so. Kicks it down looking for Keppel. Between centre wing and half forward. Toe poke kick. Was looking for Kennedy. Was unable to take the mark. And the ball is sent flying into the grandstand here at IKON Park. And it will be tossed back in. The umpire's just having a conversation. And it will be thrown back in. Half forward flank for the Northern Blues, who lead 8-5-53. Port Melbourne 7-2-44. Casbolt used his body, allowed it to bounce, gathered, whacks it on the boot in hope. High ball inside 50. Coming late there was O'Brien. Got caught, and the umpire says holding the ball. Free kick will be given the way of the Burrow. Inside defensive 50. Jaobi off the defensive line, comes wide with the kick to O'Brien. Jake O'Brien for the Burrow. The kick inboard wasn't fantastic. still have an opportunity to reset. O'Brien with the ball back in his hands, had to go back to Nagel. He goes back inside defensive 50 to Searle. Wants to switch the kick to Phillips. Still inside defensive 50 out of side. They'll go up looking for Ben Jolly. Takes the mark at half back. Now they're working it down the outer wing. They've got it in the hands of Jared Blair, who popped it over the top. The Burrow moving it forward into no man's land, though. A bit of pressure there for Kerr to deal with. Ball still in play. And just hitting the padding there is Tom O'Sullivan for a minor score. 7-3-45 Port Melbourne, 8-5-53 the Northern Blues. So they bring it to the broadcast wing. O'Brien gives the handball off to Max Dreyer. Goes searching for Finbar O'Dwyer. A wobbly kick off the side of the boot inside 50. With a bit of work to do is McCabe. Might have got one high, shrugged off one tackle, got the handball across to Keppel. Dribbles it to the top of the goal square. We're putting it through. Jean-Luc Velasaris for his first. 9-5-59 the Northern Blues. Leading Port Melbourne 7-3-45. As we've got about 40 seconds left on the clock in this third term. Northern Blues able to use the footy well when they find space and use their speed. Not the cleanest of entries inside 50 on that occasion from Finbar O'Dwyer, but able to get the goal through Jean-Luc Velasaris. Ball back in the middle. De Koning won the tap down. Burra, we're almost away. Now they are. Here's Arnott. Long ball. Long ball from Arnott. I think it's there. Goal umpire's happy. Right on the siren. Matty Arnott from outside 50 gets the goal. And means at three-quarter time it is only an 8-point margin in favour of the Northern Blues. 9-5-59, leading Port Melbourne 8-3-51. Goal kickers up to three-quarter time. 2 to Blake Pearson and singles to Jordan Lyle. Matt Arnott with that beauty on three-quarter time. Guy Dixon, Tom Hobbs, Sam Michael and Sam Pete. Whilst for the Northern Blues, 2 apiece to Noah Wheeler and Levi Casbolt and Finn Brown. Singles to Sam Fisher, Jean-Luc Velasaris and Tom De Koning. 8-point margin at three-quarter time. Port Melbourne trail, 1 quarter coming up. And they've got a little bit of momentum heading into the final change. Only 20 minutes remaining in the match this afternoon. It looks like it'll be Dixon in the ruck this time around for the Borough to go up against De Koning. The umpire holds the ball aloft and gets us underway for the final term here at IKON Park. Noah Wheeler went over the top of the footy. Fisher trapping it in. The umpire says we're going nowhere. I will ball it up. Still inside the centre circles of IKON Park. This hot, blustery day. Blair tries to get Hobbs going. He's wrapped up by 2 Blues and pinned for holding the footy. So the Northern Blues get an opportunity to load up. Matt Kennedy takes it, corner of the centre square, broadcast side. Blues heading towards the Lygon Street end. Just out of the grasp of Casbolt, has time to gather. Wheels around, gives it off to O'Dwyer, who slots it. Good start for the Northern Blues in this final term. They move to 10-5-65, leading Port Melbourne 8-3-51. Just over a minute into the final term here at IKON Park. Casbolt looking okay today for the Northern Blues. Has kicked 2 goals. Have that one off to Finbar O'Dwyer, who kicked his first. Port Melbourne with a bit of work to do. Haven't been in front since the early stages of the first quarter. The Borough need to win this clearance. De Koning won the tap down. Blair trying to get something going, lost his foot. And then got caught for holding the leg of his opponent. Free kick to go the way of the Northern Blues. In the middle, Matt Kennedy to take the free kick. Ships it short at full stretch. It went over the top of O'Brien's head. Blair gives the handball off to Arnott. Another long kick from him inside 50, off hands. Poor bounce for Hobbs. Used his body well, but left the ball behind. Northern Blues almost clear. Cracker cut it off. Gave the handball back to Hobbs. Long ball offline, minus score. 8-4-52, Port Melbourne trailing the Northern Blues, 10-5-65. Approaching 3 minutes into the final term here at IKON Park. Long kick, flying high, not able to take it there, Finn Brown. And ball is held up. And we'll get a ball up. City side of IKON Park. Underneath the Richard Pratt stand out there. Cracker trying to fight his way through. Lost control of the footy. Opportunity momentarily for the Northern Blues, taking it over the line. Noah Wheeler with Jared Blair right on his hammer. Jared Blair, of course, Collingwood Premiership player in 2010. It was just his 12th game of footy after coming off the rookie list at the Pies. Was second in Collingwood's VFL best and fairest last year, and now has the ball in his hands again. Long ball inside 50, out the back, unable to take it in there was Treverton. Was able to apply the tackle, and the umpire says, give it to me, I will ball it up. Dion Johnston getting off the bottom of the pack as well there for the Borough. Got to get a goal out of this opportunity. Dixon won the tap down. Roving it. The Borough, they've kicked it. And it is Anastasio, Anthony Anastasio with his first here at IKON Park. And the Borough move to 9-4-58, still trailing the Northern Blues 10-5-65. 4.5 minutes gone, final term here in this first practice match of the 2019 VFL season. Just over a month of footy before this new season gets underway. 3 more practice matches to come for the Borough. Travel up to Ballarat to take on Williamstown. Down to Trevor Barker Beach Oval to take on Sandringham. And across to Arden Street to take on North Melbourne. All details on portmelbournefc.com.au. As Arnott tried to win the clearance, has support in Searle, streaming through the middle. Long ball, top of the square is good. And taking the mark, Dion Johnston, one of the new recruits for the Borough in 2019. He's been at Melbourne for the last couple of years after being taken at pick 64 in the 2016 AFL draft. Prior to that, played with the Oakley Chargers in the TAC Cup. Comes in, puts it through. Dion Johnston has his first, and it's a 1-point ball game here at IKON Park. 10-4-64 Port Melbourne, trailing the Northern Blues 10-5-65. Long kick from Searle up the corridor. Put it straight into the hands of Dion Johnston. and put it through for his first goal in Borough colours. Slight change to the Borough Guernsey too in 2019, a more traditional shade of blue on the Guernseys this season. Coming through there was Harvey Chin, just couldn't pick it up. Now Kerr for the Northern Blues, sending it forward. They're under a bit of pressure now. High ball came off hands. A grubber kick for the Borough, bounced awkwardly there for Chin. Kerr almost had an opportunity, fumbled. Now the Borough, composed off half back. Betterson goes wide, has a couple of options. One of them is Blake Pearson. Wants to move it quickly. Pearson goes across, was searching for when. Ball punched out of his hands, but he had a heap of support there. Chin ran into a bit of trouble. Looping handball wide now to O'Brien. Right on the 50-metre arc. O'Brien, right on the 50, puts it through. Jake O'Brien with his first goal of the afternoon. And it means the Borough are in front, 11-4-70. Leading the Northern Blues, 10-5-65. We've travelled just over 7.5 minutes in this final term of this first practice match in the 2019 season. Jake O'Brien with that long goal right on the 50-metre arc sign. The umpire just waits. Settles himself. And finally puts it into the turf to get us back underway. Borough again, Jolly. Put it into the hands of Max Dreyer for the Northern Blues. It ends up with Noah Wheeler, a piercing ball offline. Minor score, 4-point lead now for the Borough. 11-4-70, plays 10-6-66. They play on out of the defensive goal square. A high ball towards the centre wing. Northern Blues have Penrith at the fall of the ball. Long ball back inside 50. Came off hands, roving it. Jean-Luc Velasaris for his second. And now the Northern Blues are back in front by 2 points. 11-6-72, leading the Borough 11-4-70. 9 gone, final term here at IKON Park. Jean-Luc Velasaris becomes the 4th player to kick multiple goals this afternoon for the Northern Blues. We get set once again in the middle. Pressure now back on Port Melbourne. Guy Dixon in the ruck. The umpire thumps it into the turf. He got a hand to it, did Dixon, but it was Kerr that was able to release the ball for the Northern Blues momentarily. It's all wrapped up. Max Dreyer comes in over the top to cause the stoppage. And we'll get another ball up, still in the middle of IKON Park. Ben Jolly, the last one to get up. He receives the ball here. Gets the 1-2. Does Ben Jolly, and then flicks it wide to Harvey Chin. Takes it defensive side of the city side wing here at IKON Park. Kicks down to Matt Gundry. He gets it further afield to O'Sullivan. Spins around, ball at half forward. Opportunity now for Blakey to reset off half back for the Northern Blues. They get it towards centre wing out of side. Bouncing ball, chasing after it. It's Velasaris, the last goal kicker for the Northern Blues. They get it back to Dreyer. High ball inside 50, searching for Kerr. Had 2 to beat. Borough able to mop up, and they'll get it to Cracker. He'll go further afield to Blair. Still inside defensive 50 now on the broadcast side. Pops the handball over the top. Hugh Johnson in a bit of trouble. Got the handball away in time. Anastasio off half-back. Weaves his way through traffic and hits up O'Sullivan. Pop over the top now to Cracker. Back to Anastasio. Gets it into the middle now to Nagel. Takes a bounce. Chips it inside 50. Just misjudged the kick slightly. And Hugh Goddard is able to mop up for the Northern Blues. Takes the mark inside defensive 50. They lead by 2 points. Less than 10 minutes left on the clock in this final term. Cracker gets another chance to reset. Dishes the handball off to Harvey Chin, who puts it through. And the Borough are now back in front. 12-4-76 leading the Northern Blues. 11-6-72. Harvey Chin, another one of the recruits for Port Melbourne in 2019, coming from Baronia in the Eastern Football League, where he's made his name as a midfielder forward. And after that passage of play, you can see why. So a 4-point margin in favour of Port Melbourne. 12.5 minutes gone in this final term, which means we've got 7.5 left on the clock. Dixon back in the middle to Koning. Came over the top of him, but Arnott in the middle once more. Tried to release Hobbs. Blair there in support, just fumbled at the crucial moment. Fisher mopping up for the Northern Blues. They get a high ball towards the half-forward flank on the outer side, out in front of Kalutzi, who juggled it. Has to dish the handball backwards to McCabe. Goes back towards the top of the 50, searching for Kerr. Boundary line will be all comers. And we will throw it in, half-forward flank, outer side for the Northern Blues. The Borough lead by 4 points. 6.5 minutes left on the clock in this final term. De Koning grabs it out. A kick centering ball looking for Dreyer. Just dropped it. Lewis Perry under a heap of pressure. Borough with numbers around the footy. They get it out of defensive 50 into the hands now of Sam Michael. There's a player in space. Blake Pearson running into a paddock. Dishes the handball over the top. And to put it through for his second, Sam Pete. And it's now out to a 10-point lead. The Borough, 13-4-82, leading the Northern Blues, 11-6-72. 6 minutes left on the clock in the final term. Sam Pete with his second. Port Melbourne Academy listed player in 2019. It means he's not currently on the VFL list. But he's been very impressive today. As Michael Wen returns to the ruck now for the Borough. Blair in the middle as well. Arnott and Hobbs. Umpire goes bang. De Koning, big leap, taps it into the hands of Searle, who came off half-back. High ball inside 50, off hands. Northern Blues under a fair bit of pressure. Tackle applied by Treverton. Causes a stoppage, we get a ball up. Just inside attacking 50, outer side of IKON Park. Borough kicking to the Royal Parade end in this final term. Wen run the tap down, Borough hurry kick. Ball top of the goal square. Ball's dribbled through. And kicking that goal there was Campbell Walker for the Borough, his first. And at the 15.5 minute mark, the Borough have a handy gap. 14-4-88, leading the Northern Blues 11-6-72. Tick down to the 16-minute mark, which means we've got 4 minutes left on the clock. A great final quarter from the Borough. They've kicked 6 goals, 1 to 2 goals won in this final term. The umpire gets us underway again. Wennon de Koning to go up. That ball askew and will reset. Just waiting for the players to get into the arc. Ball tossed into the air. Wen beat out. His kick smothered. Came into the hands of Searle. Long kick inside 50 again. That time though it's cut off. Northern Blues take the intercept inside defensive 50. Hugh Goddard puts the ball wide into the hands of Patrick Kerr. Centre wing city side of IKON Park. Decides to come inboard. Risky but okay. Hugh Goddard takes the mark. Wants to move it quickly and they're going to have to if they're any chance. Matt Kennedy, his kick smothered. Burrow with numbers around the footy to get it off half back. The kick though went nowhere. And the Northern Blues come down to Strawn, who gets the handball across to O'Brien. Just outside 50, O'Brien. Is it punched through? It's just casually walked over the line in the end by Ben Giobi. Northern Blues move to 11-7-73. 14-4-88 the Borough. The ball inside defensive 50. Perry Lewis-Smith flicks it wide, just out of the grasp of Jake O'Brien. Has 2 to beat. They're looking tired out there now. O'Brien had to give the handball off to Strawn. High ball inside 50. Courage from Finn Brown to take the mark. Slide angle. About 25 metres out from goal. Finn Brown's already kicked 2 goals this afternoon. Puts it on its way. He's just hooked it ever so slightly. Minor score. 11-8-74. Northern Blues leading Port Melbourne 14-4-88. Heading towards the 19-minute mark of this final term as the ball is now in the hands of the experienced Ben Jolly. Goes down the line to Matty King. Takes it between centre wing and half-back broadcast side of the ground. Decides to send it down along the boundary line. Pack flies. Off hands, getting rid of it there was Wardle. Northern Blues. Geez, there's a lot of tired bodies out there now. Under a minute left on the clock. The Borough set to get their 2019 season off to a good start, albeit it's only a practice match, but encouraging signs heading towards round 1 on the 6th of April against Williamstown at Point Gellibrand. De Koning tapped it down. Northern Blues get it into the hands of Dreyer. Goes long inside 50. Searching out there for Finn Brown. Bouncing ball. He's under a fair bit of pressure from Geordie Nagel, who pressures the ball over the boundary line and out of play. Final moments here at IKON Park. Practice match number 1. Ball tossed back into play. Siren sounds. Borough victorious. 14-4-88 defeating the Northern Blues 11-8-74 in this first practice match of the 2019 season. Goal kickers this afternoon for Port Melbourne. They shared it around a fair bit. 2 goals apiece to Blake Pearson and Sam Pete. Singles to Jordan Lyle, Matthew Arnott, Anthony Anastasio, Guy Dixon, Dion Johnston, Tom Hobbs, Campbell Walker, Sam Michael, Harvey Chin and Jake O'Brien. Whilst for the Northern Blues, they had a few multiple goal kickers. 2 to Noah Wheeler and Levi Casbolt, Jean-Luc Belissaries and Finn Brown. Their single goal kickers today, Sam Fisher, Finbar O'Dwyer and Tom De Koning. Final score once again here at IKON Park. 14-4-88 Port Melbourne defeating The Northern Blues 11-8-74. They kicked 6 goals in that final term to the Northern Blues 2 to get over the line after trailing for most of the day. That's practice match 1 here from IKON Park. Of course, there's 3 further practice matches coming up for Port Melbourne. They'll head up to Ballarat at City Oval in a couple of weeks' time, where no doubt we'll see a few more of the new recruits getting on the park for the Borough. Some of those recruits that we didn't see out there today. Tom Goodwin, who of course came across from Coburg. Patrick Vespremi from Pascoe Vale. Trent Crosby, who crossed across from the Essendon VFL. Matt Signorello from Adelaide. Jake Gasper and Xavier Fry, who make their way across from the Oakley Chargers. That's just some of the names yet to don the Port Melbourne Guernsey in 2019. That practice match coming up on the 9th of March, 1 p.m. start at City Oval in Ballarat. Williamstown will be the opponents in that match. And then on the 15th of March, Port Melbourne will take on Sandringham at 6:30 down at Trevor Barker Beach Oval. And the final practice match comes on the 23rd of March at Arden Street against North Melbourne. That match scheduled to commence at 4 o'clock. Just keep an eye, though, on the Port Melbourne website, portmelbournefc.com.au, and the social media channels